Oh, I'm working on a video right now, and like I watched the Clanad dub, and there's this one scene where a female teacher is just voiced by a dude.
What? Really?
Like, yeah. Like I obviously can't show this, but I'll show you guys later, and I'll.
I mean, this is why I didn't watch it dub.
It's just like a scene, and I watched it dubbed, so I don't remember this. But I watched someone sent me the clip, and I'm like, that's just a dude going, "Hi, boys," like that. How you doing? It's like, what? How did this pass?
I mean, there was a lot of weird things that happened with dubbing back in the day. If we're going to talk about bad dubs, you know what
exactly.
I mean?
That's a lot.
We have to talk about like ghost stories and stuff like that.
Ghost Stories, is that a bad dub or is that
It's so bad that it's good.
No, people always ask, because when I tweet out being like, hey, I'm going to fix bad anime scenes for a YouTube video, people always be like, yeah, fix Ghost Stories. I'm like, what is it to fix?
There's nothing to fix.
This thing's amazing.
It's fucking great.
Yeah,
It's just because from what I've heard about how Ghost Stories came to be made, it was Ghost Stories just sold horribly in Japan.
Yeah.
So when they licensed it over, they were like, do what you need to do to make this sell.
Yeah.
Like, you have full creative control. Rules. Yeah, there were some rules, but you basically had full creative control. And from what I heard, like the voice actors would just try to rush in the booth first, and they would just like ad-lib the scenes. Yeah. And everyone else would have to like play off what they said.
Yeah.
It was like the first abridge.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to think, right, that dubs back in the 70s were done where there was no email. Like, how did they do this? They were literally, a guy was given this DVD and they just kind of made it, and the Japanese just hoped they did it well. Like, you know, it's weird, right? To think there was
even
like,
then it was a trust system.
Yeah. Weird. Like they were like, I guess just take this DVD and go home. VHS, Betamax,
DVD. What existed before DVD?
Like, take this cassette.
Laserdisc.
Yeah, Laserdisc never took off in the West, but it was Japan, right? No. Like, God, no, it's weird. But even I think that's also why some dubs now are a bit strange, because they were still done on that system where if you go first, you dub it, and then the person who comes next has to dub, but they get to hear just your character who's been before you. So whoever's last normally is the easiest time.
Right. Yeah. And that because they have to kind of go along with, they performed this character in this way, so I kind of have to do it the same. But if the first one sucks...
It's a bit unfortunate, because I think it makes this weird kind of feeling sometimes by accident, but this is, again, why a director should be on top of that shit.
That's why like the director has control over how this sounds, because there are definitely some dubs where it definitely sounds like people aren't having a conversation.
Yeah. I've always said I think a director's job is like 10% to get the best performance out of you, and like 90% to make sure everyone sounds like they're in the same world. Like that's the hardest part, because you're constantly thinking like, okay, that was a great line, but does it fit with what the other person just delivered? Like I need to think about that.
And it's a really hard skill. It's hard. It's definitely hard, because you have to be on top of what everyone is saying and how everyone sounds. And it's definitely like you can definitely see some of the nuances that people don't normally think about. But if you play a conversation and it's just like, man, these people just sound like they're reading lines to each other and not actually having a conversation, and it just sounds it's that uncanny valley.
Yeah, it sounds like they're kind of talking through dimensions. You know what I mean? It's like one's living in one world and the other one's living in the other world, and the rift just happened to open up where it's like, oh, hello.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.